sound, welcome to the official podcast of Solar Flight Productions and SolarFlightPro.com. When this episode comes out, there will actually be something about this podcast on SolarFlightPro.com. I realized that I never published the changes to the website, so for several weeks I've been saying, hey, check out our website, and there hasn't been anything about this on it, so my bad. If you want to know more about us, you can go to that website, but we do short films, we do behind-the-scenes stuff, we do a whole bunch of fun junk. There's a weekly YouTube series. Sometimes Katie just burps in the microphone and we upload that. That was on demand. We didn't edit that in. Anyway, so my name is Garrett Ray and I am your host. To my left is Katie Fain.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm not as gassy as you, but I am good.
That's mean.
I was expecting another burp, but you didn't do it. Okay, so moving on. I'm glad that you and I are here. This is good.
Yeah.
We've both made it. Unfortunately, our other two co-hosts have not.
Yeah.
We got a garbled phone call earlier on today from they were either Russian or Hispanic. I couldn't tell. Yeah. It was a very garbled connection.
But something about them being underwater?
I'm not sure if they were underwater or if they were threatening to make them swim with the fishes. In any case, we know that Abby and Micah have been taken by some type of international crime organization. And so if you see a scared girl and a scared boy with longer hair than the girl and also a beard on the boy, not the girl, that's Abby and Micah. If you see them like in the back of a car screaming for help.
Or in a submarine.
Or in a submarine. If you see Abby and Mike in the back of a submarine, call us as quickly as possible. We would like to hunt these people down and bring our friends home.
Yeah.
So, the good news is now that Abby and Micah are apparently 20,000 leagues under the sea in some type of Russian.
I bet it's smelly down there.
Why would it be smelly under the
fish.
Ocean? It's not like it's all fish. There's a lot of water.
Fish, dead fish, if you're around dead fish. But I would imagine since they've been taken, they would be thrown into the smelly parts of the ocean.
Why would they throw them in? You can't throw someone into the ocean when you're in a submarine underwater. Everyone would die.
Exactly, it's a suicide mission.
To kill Abby and Micah?
I don't know.
Because of this podcast?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh. This has gone so far off the rails that I decided to cut this off here and just say, please help us find our friends. In the meantime, Emmy's back.
Hey.
Hi, Emmi.
Hi.
How much torture was that for you?
Oh, not a lot.
Oh,
I mean, I'm doing better than Abby and Micah.
That's for sure.
You didn't get captured by Russians?
No. Smelling better, too. There's no
Yeah.
fish at the studio.
Not apartment.
No.
No.
Wink, wink.
So none of us smell like fish, so things are good and happening.
That smells
here.
like pizza.
It does smell like pizza. We should probably stop eating that while we're recording. We have the news. Lord, this is a train wreck. We have news on the podcast. Go figure. First off, Black Panther has wrapped filming. They are done filming that movie. I'm excited about this one. It's kind of the first like full. It's all black leads in this cast, so it's going to be Marvel's first foray into making that actually come out of the comic books and onto the screen. So that's really awesome. Black Panther was one of the best parts of Civil War. I thought I loved watching his movements, his fighting style. That vibranium suit is awesome. So I'm really looking forward to this. You guys looking forward to it?
It's a shame I might forget it.
I don't know anything about Black Panther, but I mean, he was super cool in Civil War, so I can get behind.
Silver War?
No, not Silver War. Take it back. Take
You
it one
can't
step
take it
back.
It's recorded forever, assuming that the recording has worked this time. For the record, this is the third time we've started this podcast.
And the Russians just took Emmi.
Oh no! If you want to see your friend, you must come to Russia. Give us 50,000 rubles.
I don't have any, sir.
50,000 rubles. Or just a bottle of vodka is fine. If you have vodka, it's good.
Here you go.
Okay, now wrestle that bear.
Oh no.
And I just started World War III. James Bond franchise rights are being pursued by 5 different studios. So, yep. that's happening.
So is Katie Fane.
No, you're not being... No one is after you. How many times just walk in from the car at night. Stop calling me every time you have to come in from going to the store. So 5 different Hollywood studios are currently engaged in a bidding war for the rights to the James Bond franchise. So this includes Sony, Warner Brothers, Universal, 20th Century Fox, and Annapurna Pictures, who I've never heard of. Apparently what they've done before is kind of prestige pictures and things like that. But it looks like they're kind of trying to branch out and become
That's a lot of people after me.
Mainstream name.
00 Katie.
Oh my goodness. These are people after James Bond. The people after you are mostly bill collectors. You got to pay for that surgery on your foot, Katie. Oh, why? This is an audio podcast. I can't communicate to people with, like, eyebrow wiggles.
I have secrets.
So it's worth noting that whichever studio emerges victoriously from this process, they only get a single film contract. So they're only going to be able to distribute one James Bond film. Maybe this is like a trial run. Like, you know, it's like, oh, you did a good at distributing that other one, so distribute this one.
You did good at... I lost it.
We're going to leave that in the dust.
I just lost it.
The original Mulan voice actress may play a role in Disney's live-action version.
Ooh.
So, do you guys know who that is?
No, but I love that movie.
Yeah, so her name is Ming-Na Wen, and if you hear the name, you may recognize it from the opening credits of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where she plays Agent May. And she's fun. She's really grumpy, and she kicks people. So, she's like...
I'm really grumpy and I kick people.
Yeah. Katie's real name is Ming-Na Wen. You can see, if you just look at her, you'll understand. But the Ming-Na Wen, the voice star of Disney's animated version of Mulan, says that she hopes to be a part of the live-action version from the studio. Quote, I'm very excited that they want to do a live action because they've done so amazingly with all the movies, from Maleficent to Beauty and the Beast to Cinderella. I'm really looking forward to the live action. I know the fans really want it and love it. And some of them even go, well, why don't you just play Mulan? And I'm like, yeah, if it's Mulan the later years.
Ancestors! I can't do that.
You have to do like the rest of the song. If you just do one tiny line, it just sounds like you've lost
Hear
your...
my plead!
No, I take it back. Just do the one line and then let's move on. So, the live-action version of Mulan is being directed by Nikki Caro, who directed Whale Rider.
Never heard of that movie.
I don't know, but...
I just hope they keep with the same songs.
Well, apparently...
Let's get down to business.
To defeat...
The puns.
If you say puns, no one knows that joke.
I know.
You're just throwing something in there that no one's going to understand.
I know.
And now I'm angry.
Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons?
I'm going to get the gaff tape. I'm just going to put it over your mouth. It's not working. Anyway, the director is taking steps to make sure that Chinese characters are featured in lead roles. I think this meant to say Chinese actors, but whatever.
That means Katie Fane can't be Mulan. Sorry.
No, you're Ming-Na Wen. You could do it. And like Disney, Ming-Na echoes the sentiment that the actress who plays the legendary warrior should be Chinese in her heritage. She said, even though we're Pan-Asian, it is specifically a Chinese folklore, and I really think that someone with that ethnic background would really just add more to the story.
I agree with that.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't have any problems with Scarlett Johansson.
You don't have problems with me either.
But, well, I wouldn't say that. But
you're mean.
She could not play a character named Mulan. I'm sorry.
Can I play a character named Mulan?
You can play whatever you want. You just have to be home by 10.
Okay.
And I don't want you hanging out with those Jackson boys anymore. They're bad influences. Playing Pokemons. No. Caro, the director, says that music will be a part of the film.
Yes.
Which is contrary to what we said earlier. I think I did report on this earlier on, it's a couple weeks ago, that they were like, well, you don't know if we're doing music. And they all went, you're stupid. And they went, we're doing music. And so now she's like, yeah, it's going to be in there. The director also said that she's going to find a way to include the Broadway star Lea Salonga, who provided the singing voice of Mulan in the 1998 version. So we are going to get the original singer of Mulan's songs in Mulan.
Whoop.
Yep. You guys could just pretend to be excited. With your
flailing arms around
Yes.
excitedly.
Flailing arms, that helps. Joss Whedon is talking about the Batgirl casting now. So he was at the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 premiere, and you know how reporters are. They came up and were like, "But talk about this other thing," and he was like, "Yeah, but I'm here for this." And so he did, and basically he said, I don't have my eye on anybody. I feel like I'm creating this character. I'm going to dialogue with her, and then we'll see who joins that later on. He said, I doubt it will be a name. This is somewhere where you go and find Batgirl, and then you cast her.
Katie Vane.
So he's saying that basically he's like, I don't expect it to be like a mainstream actress. I'm trying. We'll probably find someone
Katie Vane.
unknown.
Unknown Katie Vane.
Normally, people will cast people that don't interrupt them in the middle of their sentences. You just blew out the microphone. When he was further pressed about the idea of not casting a known name, Whedon believes that the Batgirl name will carry more importance than the person behind the mask. He said, I'm not against movie stars. They're great, but you need somebody who's going to be just right. And in a situation like this, the name carries a lot of weight, so it's not as critical.
Katie Vane for Batgirl.
That should be a hashtag.
Stop whacking the Katie for Batgirl. Hashtag Katie for Batgirl. Join us in this. Make sure that Joss Whedon gets this.
The three people that listen to this.
That's not true. We're up to 6.
Oh, yes.
Actually, our listenership spiked when Emmi was on last time.
Hey!
So.
I'd like to thank everybody out there, the diehard fans. Thank you.
So
You guys touched my heart.
You made me who I am today.
I'd like to thank the Academy. I need a ponytail. I'm burning up.
you were homeschooled. You didn't go to an academy.
He's out there smoking again.
I don't care. I don't think we actually hear him on the recording.
I thought he just went, you want to move like me?
You want to move like me? Watch this.
Someone is outside talking, and they're very loud, and we're not. All we know is that maybe there's some type of dance competition going on.
You want to move like me? Move like me.
Oh boy, that was "Move Like Me" by. I was gonna say absolutely nobody because you said you were nobody so many times, but then I was like, that's mean.
I am Katie Vane. The one, the only.
Batgirl.
Hashtag Katie for Batgirl.
Yes.
So, Fahrenheit 451 is a book that I loved in high school. I know having to do the literary analysis drove a lot of people nuts on that one, but I did love it because it talked a lot about, the importance of reading and storytelling and having access to those things. I think that's one of the most important things that you can have as a kid growing up, especially, is the ability to read what and when you want. That shaped me into who I am. Maybe this is a bad thing. Burn the books. No, but I really, really love that story. And HBO last year announced that they were doing an adaptation of it. And now they have cast the main star, and it is Michael B. Jordan, who you may know as the Human Torch in the failed Fantastic Four reboot. He was also Apollo Creed's son in Creed, which he did a great job in. He's done some other stuff as well that I liked him in, but most of the stuff he was in, I didn't like that movie, but I liked him in it. So I like Michael B. Jordan. He's a cool dude. It's a cool dude. Anyway, so he's now going to play the main character of Montag, and he is going to do a great job. I guarantee it. If he doesn't, I'll eat a shoe.
Okay.
And we have that recorded.
We do.
So
Yeah, and I will not edit it out.
It may be a shoe that I make out of candy, but it'll be shoe.
No, it'll be my dirtiest shoe.
I can make a Twizzler sandal if I want to.
You won't be able to eat it, though. It'll be my dirtiest shoe.
No.
And I will get a video and post it on Rules on Pod. So.
Nope.
Yep.
Chris Pratt says that Jurassic World 2 is scarier and unexpected.
Sorry, I'm excited.
Cue the frailing arms again.
What was that?
I didn't know there was going to be a 2.
You didn't know that?
No.
This was announced before the first one came out. They said, yeah, we're doing a follow-up to this. They had one of the biggest openings of the year it came out.
Shut up.
No. At the press junket for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Screen Rant asked Pratt for anything that he was allowed to reveal about Jurassic World 2, and the star responded by describing the sequel as scarier, darker, and unexpected. Quote, J.A. Bayona, do you know that filmmaker? He's a remarkable filmmaker. If you haven't seen The Impossible or A Monster Calls, he's really visually masterful. Deep emotions and suspense. I think it's going to be a scarier version. A little bit darker, and will continue to expand and carry the story forward in a way that is really unexpected and you wouldn't have imagined.
Like he loses his arm or something?
Yes. No one would imagine that Chris Pratt would lose his arm. No, that said, though, I really want to see A Monster Calls. This is one of those movies I wanted to do a video on, but a podcast on, but we were a little bit late. I think we started this just like the week after that came out, so it's too late. But it is out on DVD now, and I definitely want to take a look at that. My mom has watched The Impossible, which actually stars Ewan McGregor, and it's about this tidal wave and all that.
That's an insane movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Good?
It's insanely good, but you've got to have a gut to watch it.
Yeah. Well, that's the same director as Jurassic World 2, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
I have guts.
Well, don't spill them.
I won't.
I do not have enough carpet cleaner in the studio. So,
Wink, wink.
you guys ready for some bad news?
No, I hate bad news.
Well,
it makes me sad.
That makes
I
sense.
need to inject myself again.
No more
Running
drugs.
towards that needle.
Was that in the first time we recorded this?
Yeah.
Dadgummit.
Dang it.
Basically, long story short, we've had to restart this podcast twice because our machine stopped recording. Katie said that she has been injected with something by the Russians that kidnapped Abby and Micah to make her not sad. So, there we go. Yes, sometimes things happen, and we're not a perfect podcast. I'm sorry to break the fourth wall there, but I used a sledgehammer and it was fun. Netflix users spent 500 million hours watching Adam Sandler films. And if you think that's crazy, this is only counting the time spent watching Adam Sandler films since they released The Ridiculous Six in 2015. Not a joke. So, The Ridiculous Six sets records at Netflix for being the most watched movie on the streaming service within the first 30 days of release. In fact, the films are doing so well in terms of pure numbers, all the Adam Sandler films, that Sandler signed a new contract with Netflix last month, which we reported on. And so he's creating another 4 films. The quarterly shareholder report, which is available to read online, covers a huge range of subjects pertaining to the company and the new projects it's taking on. Comedy is a big theme in the report and reveals that the new Sandler deal comes after Netflix members spent 500 million hours watching his movies since The Ridiculous Six was released. So, this is insane to me. Like, look, we watched The Ridiculous Six. Katie and I did. Mm-hmm. I think right after we got married.
Yeah.
And that was stupid.
Yeah.
It was dumb, but we laughed.
So like a good dumb.
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
but we
No.
laughed at how stupid it was.
Yes. I think mostly because it just made me feel better about myself as a person. Because I was like, yeah, I'm a little bit smarter than that. Just a little bit. So, look, Adam Sandler has had some good movies. There are some, like, I love Anger Management. That one's a lot of fun.
I like Just Go With It.
I like 50 First Dates.
That's an okay one. It's not my favorite.
It's like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. I think that's what all of Adam Sandler's movies are.
That's true.
How do you plead? Guilty. I like Anger Management. All right, 40 years in the slammer. So, but the thing is, 500 million hours is in watch time since 2015. That's insane. So if you are one of those people who's like, I really wish Adam Sandler would stop getting paid to just hang out with his friends in Hawaii. Stop watching his movies on Netflix, you dingleberries. But also, the dude gets paid to go hang out with his friends in Hawaii, and if I could do that, I would, so I can't be mad at him. Yeah. So, good on you, Mr. Sandler. It's a weird name. Here we go. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the end for this iteration of the team. So, the Guardians of the Galaxy were introduced in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. That makes sense, right? And I was going to say the year, but I forgot what it was. 2014, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, cool. Thank you for verifying that. So everyone kind of knows that team now. It's a very popular franchise. The second one's getting good reviews on the preview screenings that they've had. And it's, people are like, I like that cast, that team. After the third one, which director James Gunn is coming back for, that's it for that version of the team. They're going to, it's going to get switched up. They're going to rotate new people in. It's going to be a new cast and crew, which I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. I think Chris Pratt kind of made that movie work. And maybe it's just the fact that I really like Chris Pratt. But
I love Chris Pratt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
stop drooling on yourself, Katie. I'm right here.
He's a good-looking guy. He's very pretty.
Emmi, you were saying?
He's a pretty man.
Oh, God,
He's a pretty man.
I do not like being the only guy in this room.
But Micah would agree with us. I think so, yeah.
I know. I meant that for every week. I'm just kidding.
I meant tell.
He can grow a beard and I can't, so I'm going to make all the jokes I want. So Gunn, who's the director, James Gunn, he's revealed a little bit more about what the third film will bring, and Screen Rant said, I know you stated that you'll be back for Guardians 3, obviously, and you said that that's the end. Does that mean it's the end of the team past Phase 4, or is it your end of the team? And James Gunn said, it means it's the end of this iteration of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. So I'm sure they've got a very emotional, wrap-up designed for this, but there's going to be at least one person of this crew that carries over into the next one. They've got to have that bridge somehow. So I'm interested to see who that'll be. Maybe it'll be Pratt. Maybe it'll be...
Pratt.
Hopefully it's Pratt.
It'll probably just be Groot.
Pratt.
It's going to be Vin Diesel until we die.
Pratt.
Good Lord. You're chanting alone.
Yes.
So...
I can have hope.
More Vin Diesel.
No! Please, God,
don't yell in the microphone. So, yep, that's happening. Gosh, I am just struggling this week. There was a report that came out a while back where one of I think it was Bob Iger, he said that the new young Han Solo movie would be the story of how Han got his name. And people freaked out about this because the internet is dumb. Is collectively dumb. Dumb. Also, my theme song when I walk in a room. I'm an idiot. So this kind of got the internet up in a tizzy. Its underwear was up in a knot because they were like, you can't change Han Solo's name. I don't want him to be Izzy Stargazer at the first part, and then he comes Han Solo later. That's dumb. How dare you? This is sacrilege. You're ruining my childhood.
It's Slanger Ickenbottom, actually.
Slanger Ickenbottom. I would watch that movie. Anyway, so in an interview with MTV, Kathleen Kennedy, she actually laughed at it. She goes, I'm not sure that that's entirely what Bob meant. There's more to Han Solo's name, but it's not that it's not his name. It's obviously his name. It will always be his name. And then in parentheses here it says laughs. So
no, in parentheses it says Ickenbottom.
No, it doesn't. Your notes are wrong. But so I think when someone says that's how he got his name, I'm pretty sure that has more to do with like how he, became established as the Han Solo. Like that's people recognize that name. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's more of what they're talking about. So yeah, there's more to Han Solo's name, sure, but I don't know what that means. Maybe it is Ickenbottom.
There's very loud children outside, and it's 8:20, and they need to be inside with their mothers.
They're learning how to dance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a dance competition going on out there.
The dance coach lives downstairs.
Exactly.
The dance coach who smokes every 5 minutes. Dwayne Johnson is everywhere. Whether you like it or not, you will be seeing him on movie screens until, well, let's face it, probably until we're dead, because the man is just the pinnacle of human health and will never die.
I'm okay with The Rock.
That's again guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Tooth Fairy was awesome.
Well,
yeah,
wait till you hear this news, because you know how video game adaptations always go really well. Imagine doing a video game adaptation of a video game that came out on the SNES or in an arcade.
Does it star Katie Fane?
No, it does not. It stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as previously stated.
Co-star Katie Fane.
So filming has now begun on Rampage. You know the video game Rampage? It's basically a side-scroller, beat 'em up or shoot 'em up. It's one of those two.
Chest pain.
Katie's laughed and made herself hurt. She does this from time to time. Anyway, the upcoming video game movie adaptation is headlined by Dwayne Johnson. It's drawing inspiration from the gaming franchise of the same name, which originally came out in 1986 as an arcade title. Rampage reunites Johnson with the director from Journey to the Mysterious Island, Brad Payton, and they're drawing from a script co-written by San Andreas screenwriter Carlton Cuse and Ryan Condon, who co-wrote 2014's Hercules, also starring Johnson. So, two stellar movies. Mm-hmm. Two story-centered movies that just would knock your socks off with the amount of subtext and beautiful story hidden in it. I'm being sarcastic.
And beautiful character Katie Fane.
You were not in either of those movies. Stop injecting yourself into the news. So, Johnson's Rampage character is a primatologist.
What's that?
What?
I don't know. I know a proctologist is a butt doctor, so I'm going to assume this is pretty much the same thing. So he's a butt doctor and the head of an anti-poaching unit operating in Rwanda, who is called upon to save the day when gigantic mutated versions of a crocodile, a gorilla, and a wolf are set loose on the unsuspecting world. That happens. I didn't read this before I reported on it. That's the first time I've heard of this. Oh my goodness.
You don't read your news?
No, I just copy and paste a lot.
Well, what a host.
Johnson's $7 Productions co-founder and producing partner Hiram Garcia has confirmed that Rampage is now officially in production, and they're dropping names of people in the cast that I can't pronounce, so I'm not going to say them. So
he can pronounce one. Katie Fane.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kidding. I'm not in the movie. I just dream a lot. I'm a big dreamer and I love me.
Last night she was sleeping and she went, "Not now, giant crocodile." I thought it was an oddly specific dream to be having, but now I understand. Your dreams are time travelers. Hey, you guys heard of Star Wars?
No.
Really?
No.
It was kind of. Now, granted, this is something of our parents' generation.
Oh,
it was the 70s, but there was a little movie that came out called Star Wars.
Wars of the Star.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a bunch of celestial bodies just kind of poking each other with sun flares.
Okay.
And it was 2 hours long, and people thought at the time, this is kind of dumb. But now people love it, and there's now 8 movies of stars poking each other. It's an incredible experience every time, though. So,
whoa.
Yeah.
What?
I hear in the next one they're going to get machine guns. Anyway, so Star Wars, it's been around for 40 years now, and you guys do know what Star Wars is, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. But Mark Hamill at the Star Wars celebration that happened last week or earlier this week, or however you want to look at it, he was sharing his memories, and he says that he and Fisher got a dose of reality when a very vocal audience member spoke up during the original trailer, like when they first debuted it. Hamill recalls, quote, "We went in and we watched it. It was so early they didn't have John Williams' score. They didn't have very many special effects finished at all. A couple of shots of TIE fighters, I think. It made a real impression on me because we hadn't seen any of the footage. At the end of the trailer, it said, 1 billion light years in the making, and it's coming to your galaxy this summer. Big explosion. And somebody in the balcony yelled out, 'Yeah, and it's coming to the Late Show about 2 weeks after that.' Nobody enjoys a well-placed, snarky remark more than I do. So we both laughed, but after we laughed, we kind of went, uh-oh." So yeah, that's that would be really weird. Like if Star Wars wasn't a thing, especially since that shaped most of my childhood.
Bum, 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 bum.
No, you have to stop there. If you go over 7 seconds, we're going to get sued. Shh. That's why I didn't sing the Rampage music. You know, that classic tune. The Star Wars 8 director says that the opening crawl is 3 paragraphs long, so everybody calm down. Cool. I'm glad we all took that moment to breathe. Seriously, though, people were getting upset because they said, what if the opening is different? I mean, this movie is picking up right where the last one left off. What if it's not a 3-paragraph crawl? They've all been 3-paragraph crawls. You can't change the crawl. You can't change the crawl. And at first I was like, this is dumb. And then I was like, you know what? Actually, that makes sense. Because imagine, like, you go into a Star Wars movie, like, right? It's that experience. It's the music playing, that swelling John Williams score, that scroll. Stop it! We're gonna get sued. And you read about kind of the lead into this, and you're put into that moment. And it fades into the blackness of space, and then the ship flies over, and it's like, you feel at home in that, right? Mm-hmm. It's perfect. It is exactly how it should be every time. But if this movie picks up like the minute the last one left off, after that weird stare-off session between Rey and Luke, then it's like Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. And you know where we're at. Ship.
You know where we're at. And here's Rey still staring at Luke.
They're just, how
like
long
this,
have you been
like
there?
this.
I don't know. My arm's tired. But
Here it is. You have to just stare.
no, if you just stare at me, no one is going to be able to hear that.
I know.
I'll narrate, staring longingly into our host's eyes. Keep staring. Intense stares. Little circle stares. Ooh, they got offended. A little more offended.
How dare you say that about my mother? You leave her out of this. So, writer-director Rian Johnson promises fans that Episode 8 will feature the same traditional 3-paragraph opening text crawl. Johnson can finally exhale a bit now that the first official footage from The Last Jedi has been unleashed in the form of a teaser trailer. Early reactions to a rough cut of The Last Jedi call the film different as compared to other entries in the Star Wars saga. So, the text crawl will be the same, but then it'll all be set on the moon. No, interesting thing here, though. Katie has seen that teaser trailer. Have you, Emmy?
Yes, of course.
I have not.
What?
So this is... I know people are going to try and ruin this for me, but my brother and I are going to try and go into Episode 8 knowing absolutely nothing. So we are going to have to spend the next 8 months of our lives dodging trailer breakdowns, trailers on TV, trailers in the movies, everything. Because... no matter what, people are going to try and like talk to me about it. I had a guy at work today who just came back from the Star Wars celebration. He went and he was like, "Did you see the trailer?" I was like, "No." And he goes, "How dare you?" I was like, "I want to go into it. Like, I just want to pick up where I left off. Like, that's the idea of why they're doing it this way. I want to just feel that." And so like for me, I know nothing. I haven't seen the trailer. I haven't read any breakdowns. I haven't looked for any spoilers or Easter eggs. I know nothing. And if either of you tell me, I will get the Segway scooter and the swords off the side of it and slice you into a billion bits.
Pits.
1 bit per pit. So, but I am trying to do this without learning anything. So this is my challenge for the next 8 months. I don't know if I'm going to break because there's no movie I'm more excited for than Star Wars. Like, there is nothing out there that I'm going to like run over people in my car for to see but this movie, and I'm avoiding it for the next 8 months.
I couldn't do it. As soon as that teaser was released, I was in my phone in the middle of class watching it.
I pulled it up on my phone and then went, my brother's not watching this, and I threw my phone and went, wait, that's expensive.
I watched it right next to him with my headphones in.
How dare you? I could have seen something. We need to have a talk. Hands on hips. That means I'm angry.
Or he's thinking really deeply.
Or I have to potty. Depends on the situation. I'm a complicated man. Or a simple man. Simply complicated. Yeah. Fast and Furious 10 is going to end the franchise, and this is our... So I'm going to talk more about this after we talk about our main topic, though, because this week our main topic is the fate of the Furious.
Boo.
So, as always, we are going to do a spoiler-free review, and then we're going to do a spoiler-re review. And
can I do like a spoiler-free about the movie?
Can you describe it in one noise? Was that a vacuum cleaner?
Can't make a car noise.
Oh, good. Things are clean now. That was a motorcycle. If you want to hear the noise that my car makes. Warning. I drive a Chevy. So we're going to talk about spoiler free. Katie, if you have something you want to say, absolutely spoiler free. Do not be funny about this. What's your opinion?
People and fast cars. That's not my opinion.
You're summarizing?
I was summarizing.
People and fast cars.
Yeah, they say family a lot.
That's a good.
Yes.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Emmy?
If you can sum this movie up in 3 words, it would be family, cars, and boom.
Family.
No, that's in the trailer. The trailer is 90% family. It was really bad.
Turn your back on family?
Whoa, family?
And he turns his back, and family is tattooed across his back. I can't. It's
We
always
are
there.
family.
So, disclaimer: going into this movie, I have never watched another Fast and Furious movie all the way through.
Me either.
I've watched maybe 2, but I don't remember them. I think they were like...
I'm starting to think you just don't remember anything. Who am I?
What are movies?
What are movies?
Your name is Bob, I think?
Yes, Bob Iger.
I'm
the person
wrong
who
place.
made. But I did go into this knowing that the Fast and the Furious franchise has gone from being about a cop who goes undercover in a street racing gang to figure out some other thing that's going on, and a more grounded series with some really cool street racing scenes, to being this overly bombastic, crazy, action set piece tentpole film. So that was a lot of adjectives. But even going into this thinking, I'm just going to have fun with it, several times I went, no, I'm not on board with that. I'm not on board with this. I'm not on board with that. I'm not on board with this. I'm not on board with that. I'm this or that or this or that or that.
Okay.
And then my rap career ended as soon as the movie did. Seriously though, here's the thing. I wanted to just have fun with this. I thought if I can just let go for once, and I even, had fun in the Great Wall. But I had small bursts of fun in this, like a little, like I hit the NOS button and my brain went for a couple seconds, and then my head exploded. Because what is happening in this movie? What is any of this? What is plot? Okay?
0.
Plot. 0 plot. You are correct.
Yeah.
They just hit the NOS button on action and said...
And then went...
What is that noise?
I don't know.
It's like one of those car dealership wavy arm things. It's like... We gotta stop making weird noises.
Okay.
Okay, so spoiler free, I would say there is some good action in this movie.
Yeah.
There are some genuinely fun moments. One of my favorite moment I can't talk about till spoilers because it reveals a big secret that's being held by. I mean, several people hold the secret. It's a small secret. It's a cute secret. It's not a puppy. but the thing is, like, a lot of the action scenes would go from this is fun and a little bit over the top to okay, I can't suspend my disbelief that far. Like, there are not enough extension poles in the world to get my belief to hang that far over the edge and go, this is okay. Like, it just collapsed under its own weight of ridiculousness, I felt.
Yeah.
And the acting?
What acting?
Yeah.
Sick burn.
I mean, I'm okay with The Rock, like I said before. He was okay. I mean, he wasn't too fantastic, but... I mean,
since we started talking about this, you've gone from being very vocal to being, maybe I should just die.
Well, you told me to stop having fun, too.
There's no fun allowed here.
Not
Right.
in this podcast. I refuse.
But I don't listen.
All right, so let's talk spoilers then, because I know spoiler free. Everyone hates it.
Woo!
Do you want to go through the movie kind of chronologically if we can, or just kind of jump back and forth?
I don't care.
I don't think I can go chronologically.
Do you want
Chrono.
No,
I can't go chrono.
I can't go chrono. I don't remember the things. I know there's cars.
The funny thing is, again, just like last time you were here, you watched this movie literally an hour before coming over here.
Yeah, okay. I think I should stop doing that. I need to give myself a day to somewhat process and somewhat understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand anything, though. And I've had a day. I left the theater going, what is acting?
What?
It's in another theater. So, okay, well, let's start at the beginning then. We open up on many butts.
Oh, yes.
That is definitely, and this is a staple of Fast and the Furious. It's street racers, it's half-naked women, and it's Vin Diesel pouting. That's the Fast and the Furious
Could you imagine,
franchise.
like, all those extras, like, getting that part, and they're like, yeah, you're going to have to show your butt. What?
Most of them were like, what, just upload stuff
like,
from my Instagram? or?
No, here it is. We need butts. Casting call, we need butts.
And some guy's like, most people say I'm a butt. So, okay. I'm going to try and run through this opening scene, and you guys tell me if I understand it or not.
Okay.
Okay? So, Dom is hanging out with his wifey poo, and they're like, hey, that's a boat engine in that car. No way. Lol. Am I good so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty solid.
So then a half-naked lady runs up and says, excuse me, Dom, imagine this is in Cuban Spanish. It's your cousin. He's in trouble. Come with me. Well, hold on. I'm looking at this boat. And come with me. Well, it's a boat car. Okay, we're coming. And then they go up, and there's a tow truck attached to a old, like, 50s, car. It's not an old 50s cat. And he's like, oh no, why is your car getting why is your tar getting towed? And
Not the tar again.
then this guy who has a fedora made of straw says he owed me money, he didn't pay it back, so now I take his car. And then Dom's like, you gotta pay your debts. And the other guy's like, you will pay your debts. And he's like, wait, you will pay your debts? Oh, so you're that guy. You're gonna take his car and then make him pay the bill on top of that? That's not fair. And the dude's like, well, it's compounded. And no, I'm gonna keep this about the cars because you made my wife upset. Also, Letty laughs when the guy's like, you watch your mouth because she gets mouthy.
Yeah.
So
That was weird.
where's the progress in that? Why aren't the social justice warriors getting mad about this? Anyway, so we've lost half our listeners. Oh no. So that happens, and then the guy has the fastest car on the island apparently, and Dom's like, you want his car? You race me. Because it's not about what's under the hood, it's about who's behind the wheel. And the guy's like, really? Because
This piece of crap car.
Yeah, so basically Dom's like, you'll race me in my car, which is a shiny red old Impala, which looks fantastic, by the way. And the guy's like, no, if it really is all just about who's behind the wheel, you get in that junky car. And Dom's like, all right. So far I'm understanding this correctly, right?
Yeah, you're good.
And his cousin's like, but he's got the fastest car on the island, and I've got the slowest, because it could be second slowest. That's not as interesting. And Dom's like, oh, it's the slowest car, and he just rips pieces off of it. He's like, get rid of the seats, take out the thing, no air conditioning, that'll make me slow. All right, now just get that chicken out of the back. Unload. Why are you packed to go on vacation? This is a race vehicle. And just throwing metal everywhere. And then he grabs a Coke can and hooks it up to the car somehow.
Mm-hmm.
My brother's a mechanic. I'm not. I know that he increased the air intake. I think that was or decrease. I don't know. In any case, he used a Coke can to make the car go faster. And also, they hooked up Cuban nos, which I guess is just like nos but with more chilies. I don't know. And then the car caught on fire halfway through the race.
Then it destroyed.
Well, first he had to drive backwards.
Okay, I have an issue with this. Stop doing this, movies. When a car is in reverse, it's basically first gear or like a lower gear than first gear. Cars do not drive more than like 15 miles an hour in reverse. It's not possible because the gears literally don't work that way. So if people keep doing this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drive my car backwards into these producers' faces. I am done with this. It is a lie. And
They'll probably look at the Chevys, though, and laugh. If you
Just
think about
keep
it.
walking away.
I'll run into a glass window and my car will just crumple up. Like a crushed can.
I'm just imagining you going back. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
That sounds about right. That sounds like me. So, Dom wins the race by a little bit, driving backwards in a car that's on fire against the fastest car in Cuba.
Then he jumps out and no bruise. Not even a little dust.
How many times did someone jump out of a moving vehicle onto asphalt and be perfectly fine?
Like
No
dirt. No. Like,
and one of them
get him dirty at least.
One of them wasn't even like an action star. It was just a cab driver. And I think when he got up, his hair was fixed. What was going on with that? Although that said, when that guy jumps out, the guy in the back of his car kind of leans out the window, is like, "Hey, wait for."
What's going on, man?
That was pretty funny. Dom is on his honeymoon, goes and races the fire car, and then the guy's like, "You won, you get my car," because that's how these things work. And he's like, "Nah, you keep your car." And this one moment of him being like, "I don't want to pay the insurance for that," becomes a major plot point later on. What? Okay, we'll get to that. But Dom is on his honeymoon. He goes and he gets flower for his wifey poo, as I've established earlier, and she will be referred to as that from now on. And he's coming back, and a white girl with dreadlocks, which is never a good thing, is like, "Oh no, my car's not working."
Charlize Theron, is that how you say it?
Charlize Theron.
Okay, I like her as an actress.
I do too.
Yeah.
Like even in bad movies such as this one. I liked her. I kind of liked her, but I liked her acting, not her character, because I felt like that was the script's fault.
I feel like it was also kind of her fault.
Well, I liked her better than Vin Diesel's.
Vin Diesel didn't even register. All the scenes he was in. Oh God! All the scenes he was in, I just kind of ignored.
Every time I see him in anything, I can't not look at his wrinkle that's like right here.
Are you imagining
his eyebrows?
Are you imagining his forehead as a butt?
No, like it's just like even when he smiles.
Some people just have a wrinkled forehead.
I know, but it's just. But then, like the way
Insert Vin Diesel.
It's just he's never really been in a movie that. Besides Pacifier, I did like Pacifier.
Yeah, the Pacifier is his standout role for me.
Yeah, he did good in that one, but that's the only one.
So.
I feel like every time we saw Vin Diesel, it was just him smoldering at the camera, and they're like, "Okay, he fell. Let's just dump some baby oil on him, make him look glisteningly beautiful."
When he delivers lines, sometimes his eyes close halfway, and he's just like.
I think he was actually falling asleep. There
I
were a couple
forgot all
times
my
I was
lines.
like, "Are you awake? What are you doing?" So, okay, let's try and break this into categories. Let's talk actors, okay? Let's kind of go down the list. Vin Diesel, we have established, is not great in this, which is kind of weird because it's kind of like he's the driving force of this entire movie. Let's see, who else we've got? We've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who he just goes by Dwayne Johnson now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson, I thought was pretty good.
He did well.
He always entertains.
Him and Jason Statham together, I enjoyed that. That was
I
fun.
loved that.
So,
Yeah.
Jason Statham was he's just Jason Statham.
Yeah, I like him.
Which is fine. He's fun. Michelle Rodriguez was Michelle Rodriguez again.
That's wifey poo. Right?
Yes, that's wifey poo. Yes.
Are you gonna
Letty wifey poo.
Here. Are you gonna turn your back on family?
No, it's more like this. Are you gonna turn your back on family, Dom? Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spot on.
Great. So, I mean, she's Michelle Rodriguez. She always is. I want to talk about Scott Eastwood for a second.
He's good looking. That's my only thought.
Look, Clint Eastwood is his dad, and Clint Eastwood is one of the most well-known and mostly revered / hated actors in Hollywood. Scott, I don't want to say bad things about people. I feel like I do that too often. But Scott did not get this.
He had no purpose in this film. His character didn't. It was just kind of there.
And I feel like his character arc was just like, it was like more like flipping a light switch than an arc, because we start out and he was overly annoying for one, and he was like that moment where he's like, well, if you won't get out of jail for your team, at least do it for your daughter. I was like, don't deliver that way. Be at least slightly coy about this. I get it that you're supposed to be kind of bad at this stuff, but that was just like third grade acting. I felt like I was watching a high school play with Dwayne the Johnson, just this, kind of there to go, all right, kids, good job. Everyone have a good time.
He was put there just to be something nice to look at.
Pretty much. Well, that's like every single one of his roles are these small, meaningless ones. Like Suicide Squad.
He was in The Longest Ride. That was like he was a main role. I haven't seen that.
He was the main girl?
He was the main role.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I saw that one, and even in that one, it's worth seeing, I would say.
Because I wanted to see that one.
But for him, you don't care about him at all. You're more connected to the girl and like what's going on there. He never stands out, and he's always just kind of dull, and you kind of love to hate him in the movies.
He's just nice to look at. He's pretty.
I think that Scott Eastwood, he needs to do more of what Clint did. Shut up. Because if you look at Clint's earlier movies, he was the man with no name. He didn't talk a lot in those movies, and I think that helped. And it would definitely help Scott. Like, I felt like part of it was the script's fault, yes, but the other part of it, he was playing it too much like a teenager and not really like a man who's gone through this training. I don't know anything about this government agency. Kurt Russell is Mr. Nobody. He was fine, I thought. I liked watching him. He was fun. I think he kind of had that right mixture of, playing into the fact that this is all kind of fun and ridiculous, and that was also kind of just his character, so I liked that. It didn't move me to tears at any point, but whatever. I don't think it was supposed to. But Scott just didn't do anything for me. And a lot of these major franchises are putting him in there kind of banking on this idea that maybe he'll become a major star. And I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
He's just popping up everywhere but not doing anything with those roles.
Yeah. He's like a wart. Just popping up and, like, go away. You're not hurting me, really, but you're not helping either. I've called a major Hollywood star a wart. Meanwhile, I work at an electronics store.
Did you know that Kurt Russell is Kate Hudson's stepdad?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was married to her mother for years.
Well, that's relevant.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I was just letting you know, a little fun fact about Kurt Russell.
Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson was the annoying one.
Oh, gosh, yes.
He played Roman.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think of Tyrese Gibson / Roman Pierce?
Why?
They tried to use him as that, what is the word I'm looking for?
Comic relief.
Yes, thank you. Comic relief, and then it just came to a point where you were like, shush, stop.
That was about the fourth line in for me, when I was like, nope, go away.
Yeah.
Like, you're number 11 on the list. Good, we can kill him.
We don't need him.
We don't.
Ludicrous.
You know what? Here's my thought on it. You know your movie is in trouble when Ludacris delivers the most convincing performance in your film. Mm-hmm. I liked Ludacris's performance in this. He was the only person who I looked at in any scene and went, he acts like he's really there.
Yeah.
The rest of them were just like, I have lines. And now
I must present.
And it's just like, why?
Vin Diesel, I am Groot. Oh, my bad.
No. This has gone wrong. I'm sorry. Can we do that again? No? All right. We'll just leave it in. I like Vin Diesel as a tree person.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
He's got 3 words. Just keep it that way.
Do the Clint Eastwood thing. But Tyrese. Here's my thing. If you have a character who legitimately adds nothing to your movie, if here's the general rule with any character: if you can take them out of a scene and it wouldn't change things, and it wouldn't make it less impactful or less eventful, you should take them out because they're pointless and will frustrate your audience. And I feel like any different scene in this we could have plucked him out of, and the scenes would have either not changed at all or been better. And that's everyone's fault on this movie. Not the lighting crew, obviously. They had nothing to do with this. Did you guys know Lucas Black was in this?
Who?
Lucas Black. He's done a couple movies, but I have no idea what they were. But apparently he's in this. I did not remember seeing him at all. So he played Sean Boswell? No idea. Charlize Theron, I didn't like her performance. I feel like she leaned too far into parody of herself.
I feel like it was like she plays those characters a lot. So I feel like it went to like, Snow White and the Huntsman Queen. You know how she acts in that one? Mm-hmm. I felt like she was channeling that too much.
Yeah, and I watched that movie and I didn't think that was very good either. I was like, she's kind of, she's creepy, but I think she just like, there's a certain line where you go from being sadistic into Dudley Do-Right's villain. Where it's like you're twiddling your mustache. And I don't... Like, that's where this went for me. And I didn't... There was like maybe 2 scenes where I went, that was a good performance. I like how that played out. Mm-hmm. That was really creepy or really, kind of convincing, and I understand where she's coming from. But the rest of it was just like, is someone behind the camera like trying to make you laugh so you're just going into this other things to distract yourself? What's happening? Because it didn't work for me. I was very disappointed by this, mostly because the tickets were more expensive than they normally were. Because we went late. Dadgummit, I paid more for this movie than the other ones. We've also got Natalie Emmanuel, who plays Megan Ramsey, and she's the girl hacker. And basically, her job is to look at computer screens and sit in the passenger seat.
Pretty much.
That's what she does the whole movie through.
But she gets to be number 10.
That's true. That's true. You know what? We still could take Tyrese Gibson out, though.
Yep.
He was number 11.
I was amusing myself the whole way through. I don't know if you've ever watched those CinemaSins videos, but any movie that Tyrese Gibson did, he just says some like random line, and the guys who run that channel are like, "Earn that paycheck, Tyrese." So I was saying that every time he talked. It made my movie going experience a lot better. I had to find ways to entertain myself in this. That's how, just like I couldn't. So anyway, all right, let's talk about the villain's plot. So the villain's plot is...
What plot?
No, I was like, what?
The villain's plan is basically to get a street racer to steal an EMP and then steal some Russian launch codes to then go to a base in Russia to get under a submarine that has nukes in it and fire off the EMP blast in order to reboot the sub so she can hack into the sub and then launch nukes on the rest of the world whenever they do things that make her upset.
Ooh.
Solid plan.
It's too complicated.
Yeah.
Also, okay, so when I watched the trailer, Kurt Russell has that line where he says she's basically the, what you think of when you think of cyber terrorist. She's the pinnacle of cyber terrorism. Cyber terrorist sounds cool and is never fun to watch. Anytime you watch a movie where it's like, this is about hackers, it's just people sitting at keyboards. There's nothing exciting about this. And I found myself several times through the movie, I was like, when I was growing up, I would watch movies and, okay, let's talk about subs. There are several movies that end with subs and nukes possibly going off and the team has to stop them. But the stakes are higher because when the person takes over the sub and is going to destroy the world or whatever, the person is actually on the sub and in danger. They're not sitting somewhere else going, okay, now press Control Alt Delete. Okay, you're going to have to start the task manager. Oh, hold on. No, what? Why is your toolbar there? Like, this is boring. Stop making me look at computer screens. I don't care. I look at computer screens every day. Every time I go to work, I have to look at a computer screen. Every time I come home, I have to look at a computer screen. My wife isn't a computer screen because she lives 400 miles away. Well, she did when we were dating. For the first 18 months of our relationship, she was a computer screen with the voice. But we have to stop doing cyber terrorism. And the reason I say that is because you have to make the stakes higher, and the stakes are higher maybe for the heroes when they can't really get to the villain, but then you don't have the hero-villain face-off. You just have, radios. I don't want to look at people talking to radios for 2 hours. I don't. No. I feel like I've said my piece on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the stuff that she's able to do. First off, cameras. I've touched a camera before. Once or twice. And I know
I think we've all touched a camera before.
Pretty sure.
The camera on an ATM, if you want to zoom in on something, all you're going to do is crop the image, and it's going to be a super low resolution. So anytime, there's a whole scene. Like, I kid you not, this goes on for 5.5 minutes of Charlize Theron saying, find a camera and punch in on something. A mirror, a car door, whatever. And I'm sure whoever wrote that was like, oh, they're going to use reflections and this is going to be really cool. But it's just her screaming punch in on cameras that would result in such low resolution that if you tried to look at the spot where the person was, you would see a blob. Actually, you know what? That is Vin Diesel.
Got him.
Actually, this works. My bad. I take it back. No, seriously though, like, cameras don't work that way. You have a finite number of pixels, and when you zoom in on an image, it doesn't become suddenly higher resolution. Thanks for spreading this lie, CSI. It just stays the same resolution and gets crappy the more you zoom in. So stop doing this. Also, the scene where they're screaming punch in on everything, a car door, a mirror, a baby's eyeball, whatever, there's Dom drives his car into an alley after pretending to make it break down. He parks it in such a way that he can lift up the front of his hood and block a camera's view. In New York City, there's a random alley in New York City where this man knows he can pull up to a certain spot and block a camera with a raised hood off of a Dodge Charger. And not only that, but he knows that across the street to his left will be an ATM with a super mega high resolution camera installed in it that he can have someone park a van in front of to block the view from the side. And then he looks at both of those cameras. He knows exactly where they are. How?
He's Vin Diesel.
That blob of a man could not have come up with this.
The people that wrote the script did.
But this is look, I know, like, with certain cameras, I know if I put a certain lens on it, I know roundabouts where the frame is. But I cannot just magically understand that if I pull forward 3 more inches and lift a hood, I'm out of view of the camera. It's not possible. And this made me so angry because I was like, this is the most implausible thing I have ever watched. And plus, on top of that, this van that parks in the side, that's the guy from Cuba that he let keep his car. How did he get in touch with that guy? Cypher is literally, she can hack into anything she wants. And how on earth does Dom get a message to this guy in Cuba while he is under Cypher's watchful eye and is being controlled by her? He either sent a carrion pigeon or did smoke signals. Otherwise, this is bullcrap.
He spoke Cuban and she understood. I mean, he understood.
He just spoke Cuban, and you think all Cubans can hear other people speaking Cuban from hundreds of miles away inside an airplane? I'm getting more angry about this than I thought I would.
In the script.
This is wrong.
It's their script. They can do whatever they want with it. We don't have to
No,
like
they can't do this. It makes me upset.
Do you think they care if it makes you upset?
No. Especially since the opening weekend of this movie beat Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Oh, wow.
That is insane.
By $5 million.
Okay, I work at a movie theater and it was not busy at all, and I'm just like, where's this at? Where's this box office that they're talking about?
People didn't come to...
Not, I think Star Wars, we had it sold out almost every day for weeks. This one, I think the most people was 50 to a showing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And some of those theaters seat 174?
I think almost 300 is our biggest one.
Oh, that's the biggest one. Yeah, that's right. So, I don't know how this is possible, but...
I didn't see it at all.
Maybe Charlize hacked the system.
Oh no, Cypher's at it again! But, okay. Let's talk about some other stuff that she's able to do.
Control the cars.
Yeah, so this was simultaneously a fun scene and a scene where I went, no. Because the idea of driverless cars is a big thing right now. Lots of people are talking about it. Multiple companies are working on this. Google's working on it. Apple is reportedly working on it in secret, but that's not guaranteed. We don't know for sure. There are lots of companies that have self-parking cars now that can parallel park with no problem, and those are active on the streets. Tesla has cars you can switch on autopilot on the highway. One guy died from it, so don't use it. But
technology though, it's bound to fail every now and then.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but we're not talking about a dead person right now. We're talking about a movie. Get your priorities straight. But the thing about this is that I know they exist, but here's the thing. Driverless systems are not installed in cars from the 1990s. And there were several cars I went, that's an old car. That does not have a system like that installed in it. I drive a 2002 car and I don't even have Bluetooth. So shut up, movie. This is not if they were all newer cars, which they could have done because most of those were CGI. Then fine, I would have been sold a little bit more. But you can't sell me, one of those old, Jeep Grand Cherokees, which there was a blue one that I saw, or a Jeep Wrangler or something like that. But it just kind of was peeling around the corner, it's right in the middle of the screen. I was like, no, that's not happening. Every car in that garage that just popped out of the windows, every single one of them, that was an empty garage after that. Every one of those cars had a driverless system enabled. And tell me no one who parked there has to work at a sandwich shop? Shut up, movie. Do you guys have any opinions about this? I feel like I'm talking a lot.
I pretty much feel like you said everything I thought. So at first, whenever they all started going, I was like, this is kind of cool.
I can work with this.
Yeah, it's like every zombie movie where they're chasing you in New York, every terrible zombie movie. And so then that's when I started to see all the old cars get thrown in. And I was like, wait, I'm jumping off this wagon. I don't understand.
The good news is because you're watching Fast and Furious, no matter what you jump onto, no scratches.
Just baby oil.
Just baby oil.
Everywhere.
And so every comment, little comment, let's make it rain.
Yeah.
That was so lame.
There were so many stupid
cheesy
one-liners.
It was just, let's make it rain. And then, even just throughout the movie.
And the thing is, she wouldn't just say it there's one-liner for every, new trick she's pulling. She would have, 3 for each trick. And so you're just in a... They basically stuck Charlize Theron in a room and went, try this one. And then used all of them.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought that was boring. It was I know the Fast and the Furious, they've done so many car chases, you can't even imagine it. So this is new, and I appreciate the idea. But there were too many cars. They could have accomplished this with half as many cars and making them all look like a newer model, And also, the let's make it rain thing, fine. I'll let that one slip. But I blocked out the rest of them from my memory.
Yeah, I just remember let's make it rain.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
But she had, in the span of 10 minutes, she had 20 little one-liners about this one car scene. And I just, I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
But she wasn't the only one who had multiple one-liners in that span time.
Yeah.
Span of time. Span time.
One span time. Equal to about 6 minutes.
Oh, goodness.
So, that whole scene, I wanted to be on board, but also as someone who works with, I don't have any special insider knowledge on this. Not all computers have the same interface. So when they hack into these systems and they all come up with the same orange screen, shut up, movie. Shut up. No. One of them is going to be blue at least. Come on. Or just white. That's a very popular color. Black and white. It's very easy to read. You can do it with a low resolution screen and it's very clear. This is stupid. Shut up, movie. I'm so angry. Okay. Submarines. I don't know how submarines work. Traditionally in movies, I've seen them as being very slow. But a submarine chased a bunch of cars across the world's longest lake that was frozen over completely solid and caught up to them, but also didn't. Here's my question. They are driving across this lake. They're being chased by all these, separatist Russian soldiers who are like, we are going to kill you because you drive on the wrong lake. We drive on the other side of the lake here. And so there are all these guys who, by the way, come out of nowhere. Like every time they blow one up, 3 more appear. I'm like, what is this, some type of Hydra thing? Like, what is happening? Hercules? Wait, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I found the connection. He played Hercules once.
Yeah, they said it in the jail scene too. In that can't remember his name, but he was all like, "What are you gonna do about it, Hercules?" And I was like, "Nah, Hercules."
I didn't notice that. That's funny. Anyway, so this sub chases them, and Charlize Theron is sitting in a room, which, by the way, let's talk about Charlize Theron's cameras again. Because everywhere that she goes, she has a 3D rendering of exactly what's happening at any given moment. No satellites do this. Shut up, movie. Also, she can, see camera feeds of everybody for no reason. On a frozen freaking lake in the middle of nowhere in Russia. We have not installed this many cameras. It's not possible. That was my Russian friend Dmitry. He's sitting in here. I am Dmitry. Welcome to podcast. Vodka? Seriously though, this is just I am someone who gets bugged by when people just go over the rails with what technology is actually capable of. Because have you ever tried to set up an old lady's iCloud account? I have. And it doesn't work. So if you want me to believe that that 3 people sitting in a room with a bunch of keyboards can drive 400 cars from their computer while hacking a satellite and keeping a steady FaceTime feed with a guy in a car in the middle of New York where cell phone signal gets put out every 5 seconds because there's so many freaking buildings, shut up, movie.
It's in the script. No!
Just follow the script.
I don't wanna. It led me down a dark path. But, okay, if this submarine, they're driving to cut the thing off the pass and collapse something or whatever. And they are sitting in the control room, and one of the guys tells Charlize Theron's character, he tells Cypher, he goes, the submarine's not going to make it. They're going to get there first. And then 5 seconds after that, she goes, well, let's do this, and turns a little dial on her touchscreen, and the submarine comes up literally right underneath them. And they're driving on the ice that's breaking up as the submarine is breaking through it. Which, look, have you ever hit a pothole?
Yeah.
It hurts. You stop doing it after a while. You just get out of the car and die. Because at least with my car, because it goes... and then the suspension just kind of bottoms out and your throat ends up in your tailbone. But I don't care how fancy these cars are. I can't buy into that moment where Letty is halfway down the sub and there's all this ice, and every 30 seconds there's a piece that pops up so high that she might not be able to bump over it. No. Shut up, movie.
It's in the script.
No. I just... this is the movie that broke me. This is the one that did it. I don't want to watch movies anymore. I don't want to. Because if this can have the largest opening of all time. No. What are you guys doing? Couldn't you give some money to someone, literally anyone else? Go buy someone dinner. Find a homeless guy, take him to Chick-fil-A. Do something different than make this movie happen. I'm broken. So yeah, submarine is not fast enough, but then is fast enough to get underneath them and then go faster than them and break up a bunch of ice. So did it get faster while crushing through solid ice?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's not how physics works.
It's in the script.
Okay, cool. So that's all out of the way. You guys have any other thoughts about that stuff?
No.
Mm-mm.
Cool. Let's talk about the good stuff.
What good stuff?
Okay. Well, the scene that was enjoyable for me was the jail scene when Dwayne and
Jason Statham.
when they're going after each other.
Yes.
That was a good scene. That was fun.
Yeah.
I was
she even leaned over to me and was like, "This is fun." And her arms did that little wavy thing they do with their hands.
Frailing.
I was that actually like perked me up some because at first I did not want to go in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever Dwayne is in this movie is not a human because he's getting shot with rubber bullets.
Like,
those things freaking hurt.
Yeah, he just keeps walking.
Oh, there was one moment where all he did was like
he does that like bodybuilder pose.
Yeah, he does the bodybuilder pose and he just kicks and he's like, "Hoo!" And I'm like, that's all he did. And the guy went way across the room.
Yeah. There were several times that he just would like. They would switch to the camera angle and people would just fly through a doorway. And part of me was like, no. And then the other part was like, actually, maybe. Because most of those guys look kind of skinny. If they were the same build and weight as me, I believe it. I'm a tiny man.
Just as soon as like all the doors opened and they showed all of like the security guards, they're sitting in center.
That was cool.
All the prisoners came out.
No, I'm mad again because Jason Statham took a shock baton to his door lock and all the doors opened. That's a major security flaw. That is not something that would fly. I cannot believe that this exists.
But it was still cool.
It was really
I was like, yeah, prison break.
The music just amped you up. And
I
then
know,
it was
and I was like,
bam.
I was wanting to do this.
It was just body slam, and I was just like, oh yeah, like popcorn shoving in the mouth. This just got good.
Yeah, that was a fun scene.
That was the only good part.
I disagree. There is another good part. Jason Statham and his brother, played by Luke Evans, or Gaston, they use some jet suits, which actually are real things. Those actually exist. They're super cool. But they fly. Yes, you both can have one.
Yes.
Good luck. You have to have like years of experience to fly it.
Takes me 1 minute.
1 minute to die.
Well, it takes me 1 second.
Why is this?
And that's why she's gonna be bad girl.
Oh no! What'll be the fate of these two furious people?
Family.
Death. So
death in the family.
When they get on the plane and Jason Statham finds the baby and they do that whole scene where he is fighting his way through this plane.
That is funny.
I love that he puts the headphones on the baby and the whole way through he's like talking to the baby. I like, he's shooting and he just kind of turns around and he has a moment of peace. He's like, how's the music? And the baby's like, ah! My favorite part from that is there's one guy left on the plane and Jason is walking towards him and he turns around. The guy shoots and he turns around and he brings the baby in, behind him for cover, and he's got the bulletproof vest on. And then he puts the baby down and like shoves it to his head. I'll be right back. And then he looks at the guy who he's shot in the leg or whatever. He goes, "You were gonna shoot a baby? You're sick." And he just picks the guy up and just beats his face against the wall. And there's this shot of he's in the background just beating this guy, and then the baby's just like, "It's great." Looking the other way like, oh, everything's happy. And then he picks up the baby and he walks over and he's like, there's a shot from inside the bayonet or bassinet.
Bayonet.
Oh no, they put the baby on a bayonet. Inside the bassinet and he smells like, is that you or him? And the baby's eyes flick to the side. He's like that guy. I laughed so hard. I almost pooped myself. It was a great moment. So that was fantastic. I really did enjoy that scene. So also when the submarine fires its torpedoes and Dwayne jumps out of the car and redirects it with his feet. No, dumb, stupid. Why was it still going that fast? But I loved it.
Dwayne Johnson.
That's why it gets a pass for me, because that man is just he's a wall of muscle and jokes. And those two things, with that combination, you can do anything. What are some other good moments in this movie? Is there anything else you can remember as being kind of just a fun moment? What do you guys think of Dwayne and Jason's kind of back and forth with their like insulting each other all the time?
I liked that.
That was funny.
I think that worked for me because I didn't know what Jason Statham's character had done in the previous movie. Apparently, he killed a lot of people. Like killed a lot of people. He went to the hospital to see his brother to tell him he would avenge him, and the way he got to see his brother was he killed a bunch of people in the hospital, and then like had that little conversation, and then like went away. So, not sure how I feel about that. Did that kind of ruin that for you? You gave me this look at me like,
I didn't think it was that dark. He seemed like a pretty fun guy. I mean, he fights with a baby in his hand. Like, hang out with that guy.
Yeah, I would, but not after I knew he killed a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, now my mind has been changed.
What do you guys think about the plot twist where Dom has orchestrated, again, using smoke signals and carrier pigeons, I assume, this plan where he gets in touch with Jason Statham's mom, who then gathers a crew to hijack an airplane, all while getting a guy from Cuba to come up and park a van on a specific street at a specific time in a specific place in New York, just because Dom let him keep his car. And all of that happening, and Jason Statham's not really dead, even though they faked that.
What? That's what I thought.
I know. I was just looking at it, I was like, I've watched movies where, Ocean's 11 is one of my favorite movies because I love watching, like, at the end, they're like, this is how it all happened, supposedly. And, like, that's really cool. Like, it was smart. And this was just like, hey, we're going to do an Ocean's. But it's like, Ocean's beta. like someone wrote the first draft of that and went, yeah, it's fine. Let's just do it. Because none of that made sense. Also, I forget her name, but the woman who played the English mother. Oh, no.
Oh, I forgot her name.
I know who it is, but I can't say her name because my brain is dumb. But she's British, I thought, and her British accent was terrible.
Yeah.
What was that?
Really bad. I was like, what? Like the whole scene where she's like fake crying to get Jason and be like, no,
I did laugh at that. When she turned, yeah. She was like,
yeah. That was funny, but then the whole time I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. Yeah. Your accent is so odd.
Oh, now you've upset your mom. You're right. You upset me. I'm kidding. Oh man, I did it too good. But yeah, she did not. I didn't think she's been really good in some movies. Like I was saying, she's really good. Not in this, though. This is poop.
No. I guess every actor has their moments.
Yep, and none of them had them in this one.
Yep.
Except maybe Dwayne.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I'm kind of burnt out on Dwayne a little bit, but that's just me.
Ooh.
I think because he's in everything.
Backpedal to,
I don't have a bicycle, I'm sorry.
My bad.
Go ahead.
To, scenes that were good. In the beginning, when he is with his soccer team, the little girls...
Okay, yeah, that was good.
They do their little
about that one.
Chanting thing. That was funny. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. And the girls were just like, what?
I like that one girl's like, I don't want to play anymore. Yeah. She just runs off the field. That was pretty fantastic. Dwayne's daughter, that actress, did a really good job with that little bit she had. Mm-hmm. I believed her, which is more than I can say for Tyrese Gibson. I believed he should die. Also, did he get thrown into freezing water and then come out dry?
Yep.
Also, that door. So he's riding on a door. Fine, I'll take that. Whatever. And then a bunch of guys on snowmobiles with machine guns drive up and they shoot at him. And he holds up a door and none of the bullets hit the window.
I didn't realize that. And
his face was by the window. He's like looking through the... If he had rolled it down, he still would have been fine. This was dumb. It just... No. Nope. Shut up, movie. I don't know. I think all the big action stuff was in the trailer. Yeah. So there's not really a reason to go see this.
The trailer, I mean, was way better than the movie.
Yeah. I did like that little thing with, at first, like when they fire all the spears into Dom's car and they've surrounded him, and it would punch in, and then when they pulled back, the doors would pop back out. I thought that was really cool to watch, but then Dom's car defied all physics and logic.
Yeah.
So I was back out again.
Mm-hmm.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how furious are you at this movie?
How furious, or am I rating it? Like,
How furious? Like, the higher number is a worse rating for this one. How mad are you that this exists and someone made this a bigger opening than Star Wars?
10 furious cars
10 furious cars?
out of 10.
Emmy?
Just on Star Wars alone, 10.
Yeah. I'm 10 furious.
10 furious.
10 furious. Which brings us to our last bit of news to wrap this up. Fast and the Furious 10 will end the franchise. I know I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to go into this a little bit more. In an interview with Collider, producer Neil Moritz explained exactly what the plan is in regards to more Fast and Furious movies. He said, "We kind of have the ending point of the franchise, but we don't know the in-betweens yet. Yeah, the plan is to make 2 more movies. That's just all of us kind of putting our heads together and coming together was something that we think is very special." So this makes sense because Vin Diesel said that 7 kind of would start a trilogy in this series. So I'm glad this is going to be over soon. So, but they do want Charlize Theron to come back with Cypher. So get ready for more people tapping on keyboards.
Ooh.
If you work an office job, I assume that's driving you nuts because you already have to listen to that all day. So I need several Dr. Peppers to get through this. That's my drug. It makes me happy. So overall, would you say spend money on this movie?
No.
No.
If it comes on Netflix, would you watch it?
No.
No. I mean, if I had no idea about it, probably.
If I didn't discover it while I was in the theater, and I discovered it on Netflix, I would have.
Yeah.
But now that I know.
I just don't think this deserves to be one of the biggest openings of all time.
I agree.
Also, they kind of shoehorned in at the end where the baby that... Oh, we didn't mention. The baby is Dom's child from another person 3 movies back. So that's why he's doing all this, and he turns on his La Familia. And that's kind of the big secret here. Like I said, it's a cute secret. That baby's adorable. Mm-hmm. Also, reminds me that Vin Diesel is just a large baby.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a large baby, man. So, dumb movie. Don't spend money on it. I wouldn't.
He had some experience in pacifier with babies.
True. That was training.
Peter Pan.
That's why he was sucking on a pacifier the whole time. Dumb movie, dumb jokes about this movie. I'm dumb. I mean, done. I'm dumb. I'm so confused.
Dum da dum dum dum.
Dum da dum dum dum. Get it? It's a dumb Dom because Dom was really dumb in this movie. So yeah. All right. So that happened. Unfortunately, when the next one comes out, I don't know. I hope to goodness that we can find something else to cover for that. We can just be like, yeah, it happened, but we're not talking about it unless I can get in free, and then still maybe not. But if you like what we're doing here, we understand this episode was a bit rough, but that's mostly because I was just angry and couldn't focus because I was blinded by hatred. But if you like what we're doing, you can follow us. Make sure you can subscribe on iTunes, or if you're on SoundCloud, you can subscribe there as well also, so that's cool. All of our social media is at RollSoundPod. That's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and you can email us at rollsoundpod@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear your feedback. We'd love to hear your ideas we've got some episodes later on in the year where there's nothing happening in the movie world that week, so we need to take some look backs at some other stuff and talk about some other things. So if you have some ideas for what you would want to hear us talk about, tweet us, Instagram us, face our book, or email. I
And
have a joke
remember,
for that one.
Katie for Batgirl.
Yes, hashtag Katie for Batgirl. So there we go. That's our review, and thank you for joining us. We're sorry. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.